blood of Jesus for your healing. Cover yourself.
The blood of Jesus for your healing. Good morning, 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 good morning. I get such joy in doing that. A bright and prosperous Monday morning to each and every one of you tuning into Good Morning Grenada this morning. So happy to have you. It's a pleasure being in your presence. Thank you for your listenership, your viewership, your time. Appreciate it fully. Good morning, whichever part of the world you are. Special Monday morning to each and every one of you. It is September 7th, 2020. It is the very first Monday of September, the best month of the year. I'll be saying it for the next 23 days, so brace yourselves. It is the best month of the year. Thank you for joining us. Those of you on the GBN Television Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, those of you watching on GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20, the website www.gbn.gd, and those of you listening to Classic 105.5, 105.9, Hot 98.5, 98.7. Good morning to the folks joining us across the Caribbean. Those of you internationally tuned in to the program this morning, good afternoon. No, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hope you will have a good day, are having a good day, have had a good day. Let me just send some special Monday morning greetings to my brothers and sisters at the Grandans Baptist Church. Special hugs to each and every one of you. Good morning, Pastor Harrison George, Pastor Isaac, all the deacons, the sisters. A special, can big up all your wholesale. No, let me adjust it. Bless up all your wholesales on this marvelous Monday. Good morning, Brother Elroy. All right, let's do this. It is time for this morning's word of the day. Let's see what this morning's word of the day is. This morning's word of the day is squib. Squib. S-Q-U-I-B, squib. It's a noun which means a short and witty or sarcastic saying or writing. Squib. The noun squib dates from the end of the 16th century, a development of its original sense, which was a small firework that burns with a hissing noise but doesn't explode. The word has no definitive etymology, but it is most likely onomatopoeic. Squib entered English in the first half of the 16th century. Word of the day, squib, S-Q-U-I-B, a noun which means a short and witty or sarcastic saying or writing. An example of the use of the word, she dipped her fingernails in the old acid and banged out a memorable squib, questioning the Top Gun's swagger. Another example of the use of the word, throughout it all, often by slipping to the press short bits of provocative writing, then known as squibs. Word of the day this morning, squib, S-Q-U-I-B, a noun which means a short and witty or sarcastic saying or writing. And this morning, it is the start of the new school year. And as you go about your first week of school, this morning's thought comes from the late, great Nelson Mandela. It says, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. It is not normal times going back to school. It's going to be school with a difference. But keep in mind your main priority for going to school is education. You can have fun in the process, but it'll be tough to have fun with the new rules and regulations in these COVIDious times. But keep the bigger picture in mind, the goal in mind. And I'm speaking specifically to our students this morning. Keep the goal in mind, your education. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. All right, let's see. There are a few things celebrated today, but I'll keep it strictly at home. I'll keep it Grenadian this morning. Today is the 16th anniversary of the passage of Hurricane Ivan, September 7th, 2004. 16 years. And I'm sure for many of us, the memories are still vivid like it was just yesterday. Hurricane Ivan passed through Grenada, directly hitting Grenada as a strong Category 3, which I'm sure for some of us felt like a Category 10, if that existed. It passed as a strong Category 3, leaving extensive damage in its wake. And 16 years later, the memories are still fresh. The recovery process continues. And this today, we remember Hurricane Ivan and its destructive ways. I'm sure many of us, when we think of Hurricane Ivan, the first thing that probably comes to our mind is that criminal. Well, at least for me. That criminal went with my roof 16 years ago. I would never forget him for that. All right, let's see. Right, as I said earlier, it is the reopening of school this week, the start of the new school year, and I just want to send a quick advice to our parents specifically. Sending your children back to school in these COVIDious times, it takes a Herculean effort and a collaborative effort between parents and staff or teachers at these schools, including principals. Cooperate as much as you can. Help the teachers help your children. And I am really saying this to encourage our parents to encourage their child or children to follow the rules and regulations that have been set out to keep them safe and healthy, particularly the mask wearing. I have heard comments over the past few weeks and months about the way that they want their children to behave in school. Let's put it that way. There are some special parents that I know are telling their children, watch, when they can't breathe, take out a mask in the face. They ain't gonna kill my child for me. You're not helping anybody by doing that. Encourage your child or children to follow the rules. Wearing of the masks is a headache for us as adults, so I could only imagine for the children. But at the same time, it's for their own health and wellness and well-being. So please encourage them to follow the rules and regulations. It is for their own good and by extension, the good of their families. If you know your child or children has extensive difficulties wearing the masks, that is, they start to hyperventilate, they have asthma, the sinus may start to kick in according to what type of mask they wear, inform the teachers and the principals so that in the event that something happens in the school, they would be better able to understand what's happening. So tell the teacher after an hour he needs to take off the mask, so they'll know at 10 o'clock to bring him in the sick room, take off the mask, let him breathe for 5 minutes, put it back and put him back in the class. Help the teachers help your children. Cooperate as much as possible, because today or tomorrow something pops off. I could just hear us know. The teacher knows to keep them children wearing a mask. That principal ain't good for that school. It's the Ministry of Education that caused that. You see that Prime Minister? Time for he and the NNP to go. And we blaming everybody else besides the people who are primarily responsible for keeping their children healthy, the parents. All man Jack getting blame except you, and you're the one who was encouraging the bad behavior. Work with the teachers, the principals, the Ministry of Education. Encourage your children to follow the rules and regulations as much as they can for their own good. Okay. Rant is finished. Thank you very much for tuning in. Good morning, Grenada. It's time to get ready for the news. Stick and stay. Good morning, Grenada. GBN Classic Hot 98. We'll be right back.
School reopens tomorrow, Monday, September 7th, and teachers are confronted by a new set of challenges. Keeping children in line while preserving their health is the front and center issue. When the doors of the classrooms are flung open on Monday, it will be under new guidelines issued by the Ministry of Education. These were outlined by Education Minister Emmeline Pear, who says keeping children at home is not an option at this time. Joseph Kado followed the minister's address and sent us this dispatch.
Students will be happy to meet up with their friends again from Monday of next week as their principals and teachers welcome them back for the first time in 6 months. However, they would be reunited under unusual circumstances, as COVID-19 precautions mean that it won't be business as usual. In her address last evening, Education Minister Emlyn Pear said, while Grenada and other countries continue working through the protective bubble to guard against community spread, keeping the nation's children home indefinitely is not an option.
As we prepare for the start of the Michaelmas term, September 7th to December 11th, 2020, we know that as we journey, there will be challenges. We will need added wisdom, grace, and strength to succeed. But I encourage you that is the Lord who goes before us. He will be with you. He will not leave you, and he will not forsake you. Do not fear or be dismayed.
She cited the need for a holistic approach to the resumption of classes at what is now the start of a new school year.
The opening of school will be done in phases to ensure that we prepare our students mentally for the return to regular classroom routines. This staggered approach also makes provision for the engagements with parents, the collection of data to inform critical decisions, assessment of students, and the continued program for training, retraining, and retooling of our teachers.
Schools will reopen officially on Monday, September 7th, on a phased basis, with most Form 1s being asked to report on Monday. No academic activities will take place for the first 3 weeks, as emphasis is placed on orientation, guidance of the new mode of operations, and meetings of parent-teachers associations. Joseph Cador, GBN News.
Meanwhile, not every child will be in school on Monday. The approach being taken to help curb the spread of COVID-19 requires limited numbers of students on the school compound. Education Minister Emlyn Pear explained what the phased approach to students' return to school would look like for the Michaelmas term.
Within the first week of school, we expect only one grade or form to attend school on any given day of the week. Some secondary school principals will make some minor changes to the schedule for the first week due to prevailing circumstances and have committed to ensuring that all parents will be made aware of their school-specific schedules.
There will be a national school schedule, but some institutions will make adjustments to their respective schedules.
Wesley College, Anglican High School, St. Joseph's Convent Grenville, St. Andrew's Anglican Secondary School, Grenada Christian Academy, St. John's Christian Secondary School, St. Rose Modern Secondary School, Grenada 7th Adventist Comprehensive School, and the Victoria School for Special Education. All other schools will use the national standard schedule during the first and second week. Thereafter, the school-specific plan will kick in.
The minister announced that the second week of school will mainly involve parents to provide them with information that will better help them to support their children. During the third week, students will be subjected to academic assessments after being home for almost 6 months.
During the third week of school, students will be engaged in assessments. These assessments will be administered solely for the purpose of determining the academic needs of students. For these assessments, students will be provided with a schedule by their respective schools. Regular to normal teaching and learning activities are expected to commence in the 4th week of September.
Joseph McKee-Smith, GBN News.
So, the new school term reopens under uncertain conditions. Last year, industrial action loomed large over the heads of students and their teachers, and the government deducted from their salaries for days on which they did not work. There is no threat of a strike or other form of action at this time. However, the Grenada Union of Teachers says it will not relent in its quest to get teachers' salaries back into their bank accounts. We have the details in this report.
The Grenada Union of Teachers says it will not relent on the issue of docked salaries until their short payments are paid in full. The matter dates back to last year when government refused to pay teachers who took industrial action in protest against an outstanding dispute over the payment of gratuity. Some teachers said they lost as much as $1,000 in salaries at the height of the dispute. The government refused to pay them for days that they failed to report for duties. Members of the Teachers Union Executive took up the matter during a meeting with Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell on Tuesday. President of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Marvin Andel, spoke with GBN about what transpired.
What was presented was that the situation, we agreed on the philosophical view that it is not in the best interest of the education system to have the ongoing industrial action continue over the dock salary, and that the best solution to the having of the end of the industrial action is the return of the salary.
According to Mr. Andel, government says it can't afford to return the deducted sums at this time.
Because the harsh reality is that the cash flow situation as it relates to revenue collection in particular for the government is way below what was projected due to the COVID-19. So the economic circumstances, he said, cannot allow for the repayment at this particular time. We agreed that it is something that we can revisit if and when the situation improves. As far as we are concerned, this matter can only be resolved when this salary is returned, and we would not relent until it is returned.
A press statement from the Government Information Service quoted the Prime Minister as saying that even in these difficult financial times, government continues to pay salaries to all workers, including teachers, while facing a significant decline in revenue. It added that in light of this, the union and government also committed to working together to deal with any outstanding matters in due course. According to the release, the Prime Minister is confident that there will be no need for industrial action to resolve the outstanding issues. Joseph McKee-Smith, GBN News.
Welcome back. General elections for the state of Grenada is constitutionally due in 2023. But the National Democratic Congress is oiling its machinery in preparation, denying reports of resignations from the party. The political leader of the party on Tuesday night gave an address to the nation, calling for unity to rescue the country described as in a crisis. Cherian Blackman-Stephen reports.
Recent talks of resignations from the National Democratic Congress were denied by the political leader of the party, Franca Alexis-Welsh. Mrs. Welsh on Wednesday told GBN that there have been no resignations from the party, and what is taking place is that former caretakers have been stepping aside and grooming new potential caretakers for their respective constituencies.
I don't know where this rumor has come from, but I want to make sure that we understand we have received absolutely no resignations. The last resignation there was the political leader from the position of political leader and candidate, which he had indicated. Apart from that, there hasn't been anything at all.
In the meantime, Mrs. Bernadine addressed the nation on Tuesday, saying that Grenada is in a state of crisis and called on Grenadians to come together to rescue the country. The political leader touched on several issues such as health, unemployment, and the state of the economy, which she said her party is reviewing with local and regional economists to find creative solutions. The NDC leader commits herself to ensuring Grenada takes its rightful place as a shining example among nations. She said the reaction by the youths who defied the no carnival activities rules is a demonstration of defiance towards government.
It is evident that a people who see and sense a creeping dictatorship will take the risk and send a message to the authorities that there is a point when they will resist, that double standards will not be accepted. what is good for the goose is also good for the gander.
Bernardine called on government to remove politics from the provision of assistance to Grenadians.
Our priority must now be self-reliance and food security. We must ensure that every family, without exception, has enough to eat and that none of us fall through the cracks. Systems should be in place to ensure this. Systems should not be tempered with political favoritism and what party you support. I call on the government of the day to put an end to this political approach to providing food supplies and housing assistance. We are aware because the complaints reach us every day.
She said government's wishful thinking cannot be part of the successful path being highlighted by government, but that a clear, realistic picture and good practical decisions and planning is what is needed to make it work. She said what's interesting to note is that a number of professional youths have stepped forward to take up political positions within the NDC, and most of them are females. The NDC General Conference is expected within the next 4 weeks, and the party's convention is planned for early 2021. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
Meanwhile, government promised to find a solution to a sea erosion issue that is seriously affecting residents of Mount Rodney and St. Patrick. The sea erosion has not only made some homeless, but lays a threat to one of the main roads leading to the P.T. Ann's Hotel and other nearby communities. Rena Perr tells us more in this report.
Over the years, residents of Mount Rodney have complained that the sea has been coming closer and closer to their homes and feared that it may even lead to the closure of a main road which connects to other neighboring villages if left unattended. At present, just about 12 families are affected by the sea erosion, which has literally washed away the foundation of their homes. Parliamentary Representative for St. Patrick West, Anthony Boson, in addressing the recent sitting of the House of Representatives, called for an urgent redress for the road.
The main road leading to the villages of Davy and Prospect, that road has been threatened. The sea is just about 60 feet away from that road now. And once that road is destroyed, then that entire area is cut off, because there will be no access to Davy, Mount Alexander from Sauters, Mr. Speaker. I am saying we have to look at that carefully. For the people whose homes have been destroyed, we have already indicated to them that once the facilities provided by the Chinese, the low-income housing project is ready, we can have them relocated, Mr. Speaker.
Elridge Phillip, Constituency Support Officer for St. Patrick West, spoke exclusively to GBN on Tuesday, and he said so far they have already relocated 4 of the 12 families affected by the erosion. He explains that a survey was done on the area to find a solution to the problem.
Right, so for persons that are affected, the office, we have assisted some of them with materials, a couple of them with materials to relocate the house to safer grounds. A survey have been done, right, to know exactly what is the best thing to do in order to solve the problem. And we are now awaiting the result of that survey, and then as soon as that is done, the work would start. Government are committed to address the situation as soon as possible. At least what is sort of hampering government from making any move right now, as you know, financially, COVID has, caused government to lose a lot of finances. So therefore, as soon as it's feasible, government definitely will do something to address the situation.
The Constituency Support Officer said the issue is on their top list of priorities at this time.
Government says it will undertake the design and financing of the St. John's River flood mitigation project, which it anticipates will begin in early 2021. Details in this report.
By early 2021, rehabilitation work on the bed of the St. John's River flood mitigation project is expected to begin, as government says it will undertake the design and financing of the job. The river, which flows through River Road, usually overflows its bank when there is heavy rainfall, sometimes leaving the road impassable. Addressing post-cabinet briefing on Tuesday morning, Minister of Infrastructure Development and Energy, Gregory Boeing, reiterates that the venture is part of the World Bank's Disaster Vulnerability Project.
We have gone out for consultants to design the road. And although we went out months ago, even before the COVID time, they could only give us a design in May of 2020. If we get a design in May of 2020 and then we go out for contractors, then the contractors will be with us in September, October. They can't do any work again, and we don't want another rainy season to push forward. So even in this difficult time, even before COVID arrived, we made the decision that we will have to undertake the design works.
Bowen said the hope is that the contract can go out to tender by December into early January and get the project underway soon thereafter.
We did not propose to start in January. January also have some rains, and what we want to do is going into the riverbed. So we should have a contractor on site and ready to go by the middle of January. Maybe he can't start too much rains, but the beginning of February. And he will have to move with alacrity so that you know that February, March, April, May, June, July, and let us say the rains start to come. But as we say, he must come out of the foundation by that time. And we'll have the works going on, because we do not want another rainy season to catch us in there.
For those who may ask government why not wait for the World Bank financing, Minister Bowen explained that if they wait, it may take another 3 years before this project materializes. Cherry Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
Plans continue towards the construction of a commercial complex in St. Andrew that will host all government sub-offices. According to Minister for Infrastructure Development Gregory Bowen, the project is well on the way. Rena Perez tells us this story.
Government said it is working towards its plans to construct a commercial complex in the town of Grenville in St. Andrews. The complex will house all government revenue offices and departments, and small businesses will also be given an opportunity to operate within the building, as government intends to lease office space. Infrastructure Development Minister Gregory Bowen at Tuesday's post-cabinet briefing said government hopes to recover the money spent to construct the complex in the next few years through money collected from the office space rental.
There is an anchor tenant already for that floor, so we hope that within 20 years, let us even put 30 years, that we will recover most of the monies from rental and we will get our own use of it. Because if you look at the district revenue offices in St. Andrew and Grenville, it's really in a deplorable state. We could have the Postal Corporation coming in and use something as statutory body, but in good business, they will pay the normal rent. And we expect 50 jobs there at any one point in time. If you're looking at 2-3-story buildings, 50 is not a bad number to anticipate.
Presently, vendors are operating in an area that is set aside for the complex. Minister Bowen said government is considering relocating the small business operators.
We are looking for a location to put the small businesses. As a matter of fact, should we construct a quick wooden structure to put them in? We were not aware that there were as many as 20. That was not reported, but assuming you're correct, we're certainly looking and working with them to replace them for the time being. Whether or not the compound, will facilitate them after in a beautiful way, yes, that is being looked at in the design.
The minister stated that the tendering process for the construction of the complex is on the way, and once completed, the cost and duration will be announced. For GBN News, I am Rena Perez reporting.
Meanwhile, government has announced a study to be undertaken on the country's transportation sector. Minister with responsibility for transportation, Gregory Bowen, said the aim is to determine how public transportation can be sustained during and after a health disaster.
If you look at those countries with public transportation, what happened? They came out. They had to be there so that at least the public can get transportation. We're not saying the construct should be public, private. It could be a limited amount of public, vehicles plying along, so that at least after a pandemic, a health crisis, you can have something. I'm just saying public, but it could be a private person undertaking that as well. But who will not say, or who cannot say in the agreement that I will not operate, who must operate in a pandemic, obviously with the help of the Ministry of Health and the protective equipment so they can function. That study will be undertaken, and also everything, the rates and so forth, all the things that the bus operators are asking for now, and we have told them so, will be considered.
The broken road at Molinaire has placed pressure on several outlying access roads in nearby communities. Much of the traffic has been diverted through Montmorris and Beauséjour, causing inconvenience for motorists and residents in the surrounding communities. Because of very narrow roads, the Ministry of Works has been engaging in a series of upgrades, widening some pathways and installing protective railings and underground support structures. And now, a $1.6 million project in St. George Northwest constituency is expected to connect two existing roads upon completion. The details in this report.
The Happy Hill Bypass Road project is undertaken by the Basic Needs Trust Fund and awarded to Gilbert and Partners. Project engineer at BNTF, Jason Williams, says the overall objective is to create access for residents who live and farm in the area.
Upon completion, we have approximately 1,355 feet of reinforced concrete pavement, which you also have box drains on one side, a well slipper, and they're going to be retaining structures such as retaining walls, reinforced concrete retaining walls, and also in some areas you're going to be utilizing the rocks that are found in the area to create an embankment. Now, in mitigating some of the challenges, because it's a rocky area, some areas you'll have to actually somewhat pin the rocks, so that actually comes as an added benefits to the resident in terms of disaster management. So we're going to ensure, the contractor will ensure that all rocks are properly secured upon leaving the project.
Once utility poles have been relocated and work resumes, the project is expected to be completed by January 2021.
Grenada will have to remove the poles and relocate it, and also we're going to see a removal or transferring of existing service lines onto the new poles. This process is expected to take no more than 3 weeks to complete, and the main factor being in terms of delaying is the rugged terrain of the area, which have a lot of rocks, and also due to some of the inclement weather, which makes it almost impassable, and in some cases it prevents or hinders any significant work to be done when there is either heavy downpours or hours after heavy downpours.
Prime Minister and Parliamentary Representative for the area, Dr. Keith Mitchell, says the access road is long overdue.
The construction of the Happy Hill By Road, which is a major something of major interest to the community for years, because it will open up quite a lot of possibilities with a lot of the land that exists in that area. You will see people who own properties in that area may be willing to develop them, and there are potential opportunities for agricultural activities in the lands that were available. But because of the lack of a road, it affected the development in those areas.
Blossom Alexis-Welsh, GBN News.
Hello? I can't see you.
What's good?
But I can't even hear you.
Yo.
Hello? Hello? Ah!
Okay, I see you. I'm good. I'm coming in.
Ah. There you are.
Live the experience right now. Enjoy high-quality video calling today. Stream, upload, and share with Digicel super fast LTE network. Visit our stores today and live the experience today. Digicel.
Get away from your daily stress with a Grenada vacation at the Coyaba Beach Resort. Coyaba is located on the world-famous Grenada Beach and boasts 5.5 acres of beautiful garden. We offer excellent service, good food and drink, well-appointed rooms and friendly staff in a safe environment. Facilities include 2 restaurants, 2 bars, swimming pool, water sports, tennis, gym and body treatment rooms. Call 473-444-4129.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
Whenever we're faced with difficulties, we find comfort in those we know and trust. This is especially true when a loved one has died.
Welcome to Otway Bailey Funeral Home.
For over 100 years, Otway Bailey Funeral Home has helped families celebrate the lives of their loved ones with compassion and dignity. Our affordability, attention to detail, warm and caring staff has contributed us being the funeral home of choice for official and state funerals. We treat you as we would treat our own family. All of our services are designed to help you get through one of the most personal and challenging stages of life, whether it's planning a funeral, joining our burial society, or pre-arrangements. You can be assured of the Otway Bailey commitment to consistently provide the most caring and professional service possible with the best options and price. So call us 440-2558 or visit our website, otwaybaileyfuneralhome.org.
At Otway Bailey, we offer the perfect tribute any family can afford.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand-name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our 2 convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, easy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex, or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016, or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
With the reopening of operations at the Maurice Bishop International Airport and Lauriston Airport in Carriacou, the Grenada Airports Authority has made changes to its operations that will help stop the spread of COVID-19 and keep passengers and airport employees safe. When you come to the airport, wearing of face coverings are required upon entry. Only ticketed passengers, crew members, and airport employees will be allowed to enter the airport terminal. Accompanying persons may be allowed access to assist passengers with special needs or unaccompanied minors. Temperature checks using contact-free thermometers will be conducted on all passengers. Only asymptomatic passengers will be allowed to proceed to the check-in process, while passengers with elevated temperatures will be referred to the public health desk for secondary assessment. After checking in, passengers are to proceed directly to immigration and security checkpoints with completed ED forms. While in the departure hall, passengers must sit according to physical distancing decals and await boarding call by seat numbers before joining. All arriving passengers and crew must wear a mask before entering the terminal building, observe physical distancing, and sanitize upon entry. In addition to completing an ED form, arriving passengers must present a completed Grenada Health Declaration form and a negative COVID-19 PCR test result conducted within 7 days of travel. All arriving passengers will be screened and tested as necessary upon entry by health officials and may be subject to mandatory quarantine for a minimum of 2 to 4 days or maximum of 14 days. Visit www.covid19.gov.gd for regular updates. Passengers will be required to pay for all tests, monitoring, and accommodation as necessary. Once cleared to proceed to Immigration and Customs, passengers will be directed to the GAA-approved taxi dispatcher's desk. Passengers traveling from a green zone will be directed to a separate pickup location. Passengers who are not cleared will be directed by the public health officials. The GAA has strengthened its operational practices to help reduce the transmission of COVID-19 while bringing peace of mind to passengers and staff, providing a safe travel experience for all.
Concord Distributors recognize that senior citizens do not always have flexible spending options. And that is why we are offering all senior citizens, yes, all senior citizens aged 60 and older, 10% discount on all our quality products such as lighting fixtures, building material, bathroom sets and accessories, hardware items, agricultural tools, and so much more. Hurry, grab any form of identification and come on down. Visit our location on Dusty Highway Grand Anse or give us a call on 444-4692. Concord Distributors, a name you can trust.
Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
Looking for a wide selection of uniquely styled furniture that are made from solid timber and performance fabric?
This is lovely. It sure is. Look at this.
Visit Hubbard's Furniture Department at the first floor of the main store, Carenage. Your selection will certainly provide comfort in your home and office. Hubbard's, quality service, affordable prices.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. Thank you so much for sticking and staying with us. Appreciate it as always. Those of you just joining us, happy to have you. Those of you already on the road, it's the start of the new school year, so there could be children on the road. To the drivers out there, please be mindful that there are kids on the streets, more than we've probably seen in the past 5-6 months, so please be mindful that they are returning to school this week, so be careful on the nation's roads. To the students, I wish you all good luck during these COVIDious times in schools. It's not school as normal. It's not it's not school and learning and education as you've come to know it, but do what you gotta do. Put your foot down, put your heads to the books, and keep at it. All right? Okay, so let's get into it. This morning, as I said, it is the 16th anniversary since the passage of the destructive Hurricane Ivan on September 7th, 2004. So let's get into some Hurricane Ivan memories. We're going to mouth off this morning, but we're mouthing off on Hurricane Ivan. Any aspect of it that you'd like to look back on, whether you want to share your memory of the passage or whether you want to look at how we've bounced back from Hurricane Ivan, or if you want to look at what still needs to be done since the passage 16 years ago, that's what we're mouthing off respectfully mouthing off on Hurricane Ivan this morning. Thank you very much. Respectfully, you can call us on the landline. We have an interview scheduled for a little later in the program, but until the guest joins the program, we're going to start the discussions here on Hurricane Ivan. 435-2041, that's the landline number. It's also the WhatsApp, 435-2041. You can also share your memories or your thoughts on Hurricane Ivan on the GBN Television Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. Mouthing off on Hurricane Ivan. Good morning, caller.
Blossom, good morning.
Morning, Tanti. How you do?
I'm not doing too well. How was your weekend?
It was quiet.
You have a blissful one?
Yes, I did.
Take care of yourself.
I shall do that.
God bless you.
Thank you. You too.
What I want to find this one is a vulture they're giving for the children. Nowadays, people come way up in Willis. My niece went up there. She didn't get no vulture. I don't know what is where they have it given this morning because she up to now she didn't get it for the children. And she needed help for the children going to school in time. It's children going in high school. They need help.
Okay, let me see if I can find out. Northeast Willis, he said, the distribution of St. George Northeast, that was supposed to be on Saturday. So if she didn't get it, have her call the Ministry of Social Development or her parent.
She had to call the ministry?
Well, not have to, but if you haven't received it, because according to the news release, the distribution should have been done last Saturday in St. George Northeast.
Yeah, they went up there. And
right, so if she didn't receive it,
some didn't get.
So let them contact the Ministry of Social Development and inquire.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay. The distribution, though late, it has started. Well, according to the news release, it started late last week, and there were 5 constituencies that should have gotten their distributions on Saturday. If you did not receive it, call the Ministry of Social Development. Don't sit down and quarrel and sit down and scratch your head. Call the Ministry of Social Development and inquire. Don't wait for them to contact you. Sometimes you have to put your foot in front. When you don't have good foot, take in front. All right, back to the phone lines. We're looking back at Hurricane Ivan 16 years later. Good morning, caller.
16 years ago, time was midday time, so.
You understand?
Ivan was the worst time of business in my life. For my age and then, I wasn't nothing so as Ivan yet, you know. The worst is that I was seeing my eyes, I tell you. Watching my eyes after the hurricane. But the next day, Lord of mercy, and weeks and months after, the up and out still. You have building and things still up there, Ivan, they still have it still in the place, you know. But I was was not passing, you know, and Emily came afterwards again and look up again, you know. But I pray, I mean, as the time goes by, nature is the one who will evolve in any case, yeah. It will by nature, but I'm going to see honest ones again. The worst I ever see, tell you what, see things happen, I mean, after the you know, you can pass on that. If you are going to pass at night time, yeah, because some people are thinking, and after a die more if you can pass the night. But you can pass in the day, you can pass, you know. Midday, you can pass something and just lick up the whole thing. You know? I mean, you go and sleep on thing on you in the morning and sitting outside. I mean, I could think them churches again too, in case was rescue mission, there was to be for disaster. But I could think them people locked on the church and early on. And the church and thing used to get broken in the past and they would lock the church down. Otherwise, people died. If the churches was as they used to be in the days gone by, rescue our people, and people died in the churches. But all the churches get mashed up.
All right.
Yeah, something, you know. But nature will evolve in any case, yeah. Evolve by nature. You can't stop stumbling at the come. You can't change, you can't turn it back. But I like you once again.
Okay.
Have a blessed day.
You too.
Anniversary today, 16 years.
16 years.
Disaster time.
Thank you. Looking back at Hurricane Ivan of 2004, what do you recall, your memories, if you want to reflect on, let's say, what you were doing or how you were able to bounce back from Ivan, how the country has bounced back, how far we still need to go 16 years later. Share with us this morning. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, my baby blood.
Morning, Miss Jacob. How you do?
Girl, not too bad, no. I want to know about my mommy, you know.
Mommy is good.
If mommy good, are good too.
Okay.
Very good to go.
All right. So reflect on Ivan.
Yes, reflection on Ivan, girl, Lord have mercy. If I know something else, they say Janet, the bad. Janet is bad. Janet was a baby that just born. Because when Janet passed, I had 8 years. Oh, Lord have mercy. I don't want to see something again as Ivan, no? Ivan and Emily? Nah, I want to see something as them, so. But Ivan come in the day. Or if he come in the night, he'd have tear up. He'd have bad. But I had a pear tree. The pear tree had some nice pear on it. Tanti Blossom. Papa, the wind just take it up, root it up, you know, as if somebody root it up, and he put it on the side. He don't put it across the road, you know, he put it aside. I said, Lord have mercy. But I didn't go in, though. I didn't go in the school, though. I stay home. Yes. So, it was about only the part where the kitchen is, only that side of the thing that come up, but the rest of my house had galvanized. So it was cool Ivan time. So God bless you, Auntie Blossom.
Thank you, Miss Jacob. Have yourself a good day.
And see about my mommy for me, please.
I will do
Mommy,
so.
good morning, darling. Oh, Auntie Blossom, good morning. Bye, your sweetheart.
Bye, Miss Jacob. Have a good day. Looking back at the passage of Hurricane Ivan 16 years later, if you want to reflect on your memory or you want to look at how far Grenada has bounced back from the passage that destroyed about 85% of damage, according to reports of Hurricane Ivan of 2004. What were you doing? What was I doing during Ivan? Last during Ivan, I was chilling at home. Actually, I got up to go to work. And in speaking to a family friend, he said, no, the hurricane coming in truth. He was working on Coast Guard. I said, all right, cool. I fold up, unclothed, reading my book. Ivan raised up the roof, he watched me, he put it back down. Ivan raised up the roof again, he watched me, put it back down. We say, okay, let me give her some time to get herself together. I got myself together, and as soon as I pack a little bag, Ivan say, all right, she ready. Vloop, she gone with the roof. Not Ivan Wicked. Bonjour, Ivan Wicked. Good morning, Rina. We're looking back at Hurricane Ivan 2004, 16 years later. What were you doing when Ivan passed?
I had a birthday party to go to.
You had a birthday party to go to. Did you reach? Did you dress? You dressed for the party? Ivan say, press pause. All right, ma'am. Thank you. Ivan say, which party? Ivan was like, COVID? Ivan, do what you want? Okay, let me see what's on social media. Nobody's reflecting on YouTube or Facebook. Let me see. Hey, where my WhatsAppers are? Somebody's typing on WhatsApp. Hurricane Ivan has taught us to never be complacent and that we should always be prepared. I've learned my lesson since then. As soon as weather officials say system on the horizon, my bags are packed and my covers are stocked. Point. If nothing else, it has shown us to be prepared. These days, if they just say tropical wave, supermarket full of people. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, my darling.
Good morning, Ms. Jeremiah. How you do?
I'm doing fine. And you?
I'm great.
How was your weekend?
It was quiet.
Very quiet.
Yes.
Okay. Well, child, Ivan, for me, just watch where I live, and he say, you see me? Too much of the blood of Jesus over that place. I ain't going there. But what he did is stay on the hill, and he take out the people's roof, and he hit my roof with it, break up two of my windows, and put down my fence. He just feel he couldn't leave me alone and go like that. But compared to what happened in my area, I could say I had nothing. Because I prayed, I said, Lord, you got to preserve this place. You got to protect me from this disaster and what's coming. And I was preserved, I was protected. So I didn't have anything much compared to a lot of people who lost their homes, lost their roof, and everything else. So I give God thanks that I didn't have much problem, and God is to be glorified in all things. So I didn't have a bad experience.
Good. I'm glad.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Baby.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Looking back at Hurricane Ivan of 2004, today is the 16th anniversary since its passage. Let's look back, let's reflect, let's remember. We can even look to the future, how far we still need to go since its passage 16 years ago, how far we've come 16 years later. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning, brother. How are you?
I'm good. How you do?
Not too bad at all.
All right.
Well, I am 16 years older now when Hurricane Ivan passed. And I remember making a poem on Hurricane Ivan. So I just want to read it out. Can I?
Sure.
Yes, I have to, but I won't be long. I have sent a warning before to let Grenadians know I am coming to their shores. But they never take heed. They think I was joking. So I went over to them and I did some shaking. I passed through the country. I passed all around. I passed through the city and I tumbled them down. When they heard I was coming, they laughed, ha ha ha. But surely I was indeed coming to Grenada. I passed by friends, I passed by neighbors, and I said, hey, over there, are you enjoying my showers? I make them run, I make them cry, I scatter them all over, they never knew why. If you see them scamper and wail and bawl, some of them jump and some of them crawl. At times I was sorry, but I said it's not me. It's nature that sent me to destroy this country. Government buildings and offices were crumbling over, and I had the Prime Minister and Governor General running for cover. So I threw down some houses and had some dead, and now I have everyone living in fear, dread. That's just a little kixy one, but that's the other one though. Excuse me. It was September the 7th, 2004. Hurricane Ivan hit Grenada with a powerful blow. Grenadian was scared of this horrible situation and didn't take one step of action. Houses were blown down and roofs were shattered. Parliament buildings and business places were also battered. The big men in society, the small men on the street, all got a touch of this disastrous street. The wind was traveling at 115 miles an hour, smashing electric lines and leaving them out of power. Men, women, and children scampered as fast as they can to seek refuge from this terrible Hurricane Ivan. Tears and screams could be heard in the distance while Hurricane Ivan was enjoying his dance. I will send my eye on them, he said, send my wound on some and leave some dead. We have been warned before to have a national day of prayer, but we say that God is a good God and we just doesn't care. He has allowed things to happen when you are stiff-necked, and we ourselves have caused our country to be a devastating wreck. So fellow Grenadians, take time out to pray. We don't know what next will be coming our way. It might not be a tornado, cyclone, or typhoon, but look out for Jesus because he's coming soon. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you very much for sharing. I appreciate that. Let me go to the social media before I go back to the landline. Somebody says, I went to the supermarket early the morning before and bought 1 loaf of bread and 1 bottle of water. I believe Grenada doesn't get hurricane. Seem I was wrong. We learned a lesson. A resilient people we are. We're bouncing after anything. We will bounce back from this coronavirus. Government needs to take responsibility for the fixing of significant public buildings. York House, Government House, the library. No one else will do it for us. And another WhatsApper, I was only 11 years old when Ivan struck our island. I remember how excited I was to experience a hurricane, not being aware of how treacherous it would be. But while this devastating disaster was in progress, I was shaking like Callaloo leaf. I can also remember how the place was tore up after the hurricane. But look at where we are today. Our island has developed so tremendously. I must congratulate the government at the time for its development of relations with other countries in the region and abroad to seek funding to restore the public image of Grenada as the destination of choice. Good morning, Gola.
Morning again, Blossom.
Morning, Daddy.
I just give my little experience of Ivan. And that day, I was in the kitchen. I was preparing lunch. My niece there, she was pregnant with her first child. And when I was in the house, then I found her looking outside. I find the breeze is swaying so much and so high. I said, what is happening? There was a little coconut tree next to my electricity line. I see the line coming down, going to the ground. So I called my nephew. I said, Janelle, come. Look at the line going down. He trying to push. He said, Auntie, this thing can't move, you know. He said, Auntie, like the hurricane coming, you know, we had to move. Then he went over by the neighbor's house. And when I in the house, I say, oh, my God, Nikki, we have to move. I hear things falling on the roof of the house. I say, Lord of mercy, Nikki, let us go. I leave everything in the house and we run like hell, go over by the neighbor. All the local trees and things swaying, they're falling down. Go by the neighbor. She says, say, Lord, what's happening? We one love in there, myself and my sister and my niece, 2 nieces and grandnephew. We all in one house. We started to pray and so on. The child look outside. He said, Auntie, look. The galvanize flying like kites. They're flying in Richmond Hill. We could stay where we are and see the whole of Richmond Hill. And you could see the galvanize flying from all the buildings all over the place. Oh, my God, Ivan was terrible. And he did what he had to do. But we survived, thank God for life. And neighbors come, they take me, they bring me to a house next door. I fall long and big tree and all things, but I get up still. I'm still alive in God's world. Thank God for long life after Ivan. What he did to us, we survived after God. Without God, we couldn't survive this Ivan hurricane thing. God is in control of our life. When things happen that we have to pray for storm, hurricane, and all other natural disasters that may beat us because we know these things will come and the season for it. Let us look out for anything that will come. Pray and ask God to save us from the storm, the hurricane, and any other natural disasters. Ivan was terrible, and he did a lot. But I'm still alive because I live to me 84 years now, and my niece was having a baby. She's 15, going 16 years now with Ivan around. We survived. Thank you, Blossom.
Thank you very much, Daddy. Exactly, we survived. Most of us survived. We lost material things, but we still had, most of us, still had our lives, and we need to be grateful for that. Let me take a break. Let me make sure the phone's not ringing first. Let me go by Facebook and YouTube. And hold on, there's a WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, I never witnessed a hurricane or storm in Grenada, but I can say the agriculture sector suffered a major blow and up to now never fully recovered up to today. And I think after Ivan, the government didn't do much to support the farmers, but focused more on the tourism industry. Why today the banana farmers never recovered post-Ivan? Another WhatsApper says, Ivan was not as bad as we make out. There were positives that we all experienced, the only time the whole of Grenada united. During Ivan, my mother was getting ready to deliver me. What? So it's almost happy birthday to you, huh? Let me take this call and then we'll take the break. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Ms. Blossom.
Good morning, Mr. Bedoego.
Well, I'm not doing too well at the moment because why I will have to listen to you on the radio because I was calling you from a massive phone. The phone ain't working good at all. Well, anyway, let us not go into that this morning.
No problem. Go ahead.
Yes. A lot to remember, we was just enjoying ourselves, cooking food and eating and so on, we was not that panic. But all what I know, that my sister house in Dabo roof go cleft and my nephew house in Dabo in St. George break down completely. And I remember again with Johnny Mason and Christine, the journalist that used to work in GBN, and Sean the driver, they get trapped in Birch Grove with the motorcar. And Sean was trying to go and clear the road and he go down in a drain and the Johnny Mason start to ball and sees Sean dead. But Sean have a yellow raincoat on him, die what I see, and then afterwards, everything get all right and a lady in Birch Grove rescue them for the night and with other people and so on. And they spend the night, they good, and then when they light, I don't know how they make it, but the road was blocked and they could not pass to go and give report. So then you take it over now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bido. Thank you for that memory with you, Jenny and Sean. Oh God, Sean dead. Good morning, Miss Mason. Hopefully you are doing great. It's been a while since I've seen or spoken to you, but hopefully all is well. All right, let's take a quick break and then we're going to come back inside with an interview as we prepare for Caribbean Wellness Day this weekend. This is Good Morning Grenada, Classic GBN Hot 98. We'll be right back.
Use clay, it washing cleaner than ever. Oh mama, oi, oh mama, oi. In every household must have it, oi. Highly effective, stain removal, lemon freshness, antibacterial washing powder. Fresh and clean, fresh and clean. When I put on me clothes, me must win. When I wash me clothes, no other detergent could ever wash me clothes like this.
Now buy 3 bottles of Clay's dishwashing liquid for only $8. Available at Best for Less Supermarket, Eat Fresh Supermarket, MNC Jones Supermarket, Hope Pride Supermarket, The Food Fairs, Carenage and Grandad's, Roberts Enterprise, Springs Food Mart, and Charlo's Supermarket.
Other Clay's products available: hand sanitizer, fabric softener, hand washing liquid, dishwashing liquid, and toilet cleaners. Distributed by Fortune Foods Company Limited, Tempe St. George.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, reviews, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
The Esplanade Mall, something for everyone. Go on a shopping spree today and experience some magic.
You've spoken. We have heard. Now we're making more time available for your evening primetime shows on K105. From Monday, July 6th, Your Law will air from 6 to 7 p.m. On Tuesdays, Simply Agriculture. And on Wednesdays, join discussions on constitution reform in partnership with Island Media. At 5:55 p.m., we bring you news headlines, a capsule on local, regional, and international events, followed by news at 7 via simulcast with GBN Television. Join Godfrey Augustine for stimulating discussions on Release It from 8 p.m. on Wednesdays and Thursdays. GBN's K105.5 and 105.9. We're with you everywhere and anywhere. If you're on the move, catch us online at www.gbn.gd.
Long ago, the strength of Grenadians was in their arms as they worked the lands to get food for the table. Nowadays, most Grenadians' plate is packed with lots of starch and meat, little or no vegetables, plenty fried foods, and they wash that down with something sweet while sitting in front of screen. Hard work and exercise seem to be out of style, and lifestyle diseases are becoming the fashion of the day and claiming many lives. Let's make a change to live longer. Let us grow and enjoy a variety of natural and safe, fresh vegetables and fruits every day. Use our local fresh seasoning and spices to make our traditional dishes healthier and avoid highly processed foods, snacks, and drinks. Drink more water every day to help your body function better. Get moving every day and trade some screen time to share and enjoy healthy family meals.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. We started with a reflection on Hurricane Ivan, and this morning we're going to get into, or should I say right now, we're going to get into the discussion. I have joining us virtually to talk about Caribbean Wellness Week is Dr. Valma Jessamy, and she's coordinating an initiative with the Caribbean Institute for Sustainable Island Living as we get ready to promote Caribbean Wellness Week starting on Saturday, God willing. Dr. Jessamy, is Saturday? Right. So good morning to you and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Blossom, and thanks for having me on your program. I listen to you all the time, and I must say you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Get up and moving and informed.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So let's get into it. 2020 Caribbean Wellness Week. Let's first start with the theme, decolonizing our food and healthcare system. What does that theme really represent for Caribbean Wellness Week 2020?
Well, this theme has been set by our institute, the Sustainable Island Living. I know the idea for Caribbean Wellness Day, September 12th, and celebrating the week, started over 10 years ago by PAHO, that's the Pan American Health Organization, where they encourage groups and organizations, governments, persons in in the region to focus on living well, on wellness. But what does that really mean? Part of the reason for that is because the Caribbean region, Caribbean peoples, unfortunately have the highest rate of illnesses, of non-communicable illnesses in the world. When we speak about things like diabetes and heart problems and so, the average rate in the world is about 7 to 8, maybe 9% of the population. In the Caribbean, the rates are like 13 and 15% of the population. We find that persons who are dying from diabetes complications, etc., outranks the rate that you see globally. So it's a worrying problem that so much of our healthcare system or monies go towards dealing with the complications of non-communicable diseases, and most of those issues can be controlled by how we live, by what we eat, how we take care of our environment. Do we spend time in nature? Do we spend time outdoors? So when we think of the Caribbean and we think of it as this sunny, healthy place, it does not match the reality of our lifestyles and the rate of non-communicable diseases. Why we are saying we need to decolonize our food and healthcare system, just close your eyes for a minute and imagine yourself in space and time. If you could go back a couple hundred years, Caribbean peoples, Caribbeanos, our ancestors, were healers. They were the medics. If you read a report on the colonial time, you would see a lot of references to the Negro D, Negro capital D. The D stands for doctor. We have been written out of history for many reasons. Our ancestors had a very in-depth, strong knowledge of how to heal using natural means. And as early as 1767, there were laws passed banning Black people, Negroes, from practicing medicine and healing, because it was part of our resistance movement. There's a book called Medical Revolutionaries by, I can't remember the name of the author now, who speaks about how the Caribbean women, the Caribbeanos, the Black Carib women, would use herbs to abort their fetus because they did not want their children to be born into slavery. You would hear stories about the entire plantation becoming ill for weeks because they took certain plants, certain herbs as part of their resistance to enslavement. When we think of our Caribbean people, we think of only persons working in the sun with a whip on their back. But we were intelligent scientists and engineers and the builders, the Caribbean people who came to the region. Not all of them were enslaved. We had medical doctors who traveled with the ship. We had engineers, we had navigators, we had, all sorts of classes of people who came into the New World. And so over time, what we had happen was for this system of control to work, we had alienation of the role of our people in our own food and healthcare system. In fact, the systems that we had here in the region were not built by the Europeans, it was built by our people, right? So that has been written out of our history. So the food that we eat right now, we need to decolonize our food. We need to take things like gluten, flour. Wheat has become one of the main foods that people eat around the world. But we have so many other things that we can eat. And there is so much evidence that would show you how the food that we're eating is affecting our health. there is a lot of evidence to show that we have a lot of cures and medicinal plants and medicinal food right here in the Caribbean that could allow us to live better lives.
So what activities would we hold to commemorate Caribbean Wellness Day and the week, and activities during the week?
So we are actually using this week to start off a movement, a series of conversations, because it's not going to end with one day, which would lead up to our first Live Well Summit, which we hope to have in November, which would last over a period of time. Our feature speaker on Saturday would be Dr. Tristan Smith. I'm so proud of Dr. Smith. He is a cardiologist. He's from Grenada. He's from Guave. He's the head of a cardiology department in the US. He's an interventional surgeon, and he's doing very great work. He's been trained in Cuba and the US and elsewhere, and he has been trained in holistic medicine, beyond just the conventional, where you just take drugs and administer them to a patient. And so he has this very broad and wholesome view of health and wellness, and grounded in our Caribbean context. You probably do not know, Blossom, that there are many drugs that we buy that were developed here in the Caribbean by our ancestors. The active ingredients were taken from the plants. They have been synthesized, and the pharmaceutical industry sent it back to us in pills and tablets and medication. Take, for instance, when you buy Robitussin or Mucinex or any of those kind of cough medications to remove inflammation in the lungs and what have you, that active ingredient was found here in the Caribbean by our ancestors. It's a tree that we have growing in Grenada, right? The lignum vitae tree, guaiaphenisin. And we have, over centuries, harvested that tree and shipped it to Europe by the boatloads. Now the tree is almost extinct.
Dr. Jessamine, unfortunately, we need to wind down the program. We've run out of time. I need to get ready for the BBC.
Well, what I have to say in closing is that honey and medicines that we've developed here on our farm in Grenada has just cured persons who have COVID.
Wow.
In a study that is directed by one of the leading universities in the world. And so very soon we'll be telling you much more about that, and very excited about the fact that we have what we need here in the Caribbean to live well. And we can only do that by decolonizing our food and healthcare system.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jessamine. Please keep us up to date as to the activities for Caribbean Wellness Day and Wellness Week, and we can see how much of that we can share with our viewers and listeners.
Sure.
Thank you very much. Have yourself a good day. That was Dr. Valma Jessamine as Grenada and the rest of the Eastern Caribbean prepares to celebrate Caribbean Wellness Day and Wellness Week. Caribbean Wellness Day is this Saturday. That would be September 12th, 2020. It's now time to join the BBC for the 8 a.m. newscast, which is just getting on the way. Thank you so much. Have yourselves a productive Monday. Those of you heading back to school, teachers included, have yourselves a good one and a good school year. This is Good Morning Grenada, Classic GBN Hot 98.
UK of an obligation to check goods crossing from Great Britain to Northern Ireland. But that could risk a harder border between Northern Ireland and the Irish Republic. That prompted the Irish Foreign Minister to tweet, "This would be a very unwise way to proceed." This latest move comes as Boris Johnson says